Okay, so now let's dive into quartiles and think about what's a quarter. Like 25% of the dollar, right? It's a quarter of the way in. 1/4, that's a quarter. So when I find quartiles, we're literally doing the exact same thing. It's a quarter of the way in. So this is median central. Lots of medians because it's splitting that data up. So in order to do a median, you have to put this in ascending order. So you put it in order, determine the median or the second quartile. Those mean the exact same thing. So a median and the second quartile are exactly the same. Then we're going to divide the data set into halves. All right, so check this out. You have the median or quartile 2 because that's in the middle. Then in this half, you want to find the median again. So this is another median. So this is a median of the top half. And this is a median of the bottom half. All right. So it's a quartile. They're divvying it up into quarters. So this is 25% of the data. This is 25%, 25%, and 25%. All of those together make a whole. So then tell me what's happening with these two middles. How much of data is that? Yeah, 50% of the data, right? Because it's the middle half. Both of these 25% to make up that 50%. Okay, cool. So let's do that. So step 1, arrange in ascending order. So the highway, I'm going to scoot this up a little bit. The Highway Loss Data Institute routinely collects data on collision coverage claims. Collision coverage insures against physical damage to any insured individual's vehicle. And so here's the data in this table represent 18, a sample of 18, based on the data from the Highway Loss Institute. All right, so we want to find the first, second, and third quartiles. So we want to find the first quartile, the median of the whole thing, which is the second quartile, and the third quartile. So step 1, put it in order. So that's just going to take some time, right? Where's my smallest amount? Here's 189. Is that the lowest that I go? Oh, 180. Woo, we almost missed that one, right? So we've got 180, 189. Now there's going to be enough here. I'm probably going to have to do 2 lines, but that's okay. What's next? 370 is the next one that I see. Then 618. And 735. What's next? 802. I think that's what's happening there. And then I think we're into the thousands now, right? Okay, so 1,185. And then 1,414. Then 1,675. Pardon me, 57. See, I do it too. All right, then let's keep going. I'm going to go down here to the second line just so that we have some room to talk about it. So what? We have another, there's another 1,935. I thought I saw another 1,000. 1,953. I did it again. 1,953. Thanks for correcting me because I'm sure some of you said it, and I appreciate that. I could always use the help. 2,336. Am I doing this okay? Are we hanging in there? Nope, we're not, because there's a 2,332 right next to it. So 2,332, and then 2,336. Now are we hanging in there? Make sure you're checking me. You should be doing this at the same time so that we're on board together. 3,461, and then 4,668. What's next? I think the 6,000 is next. 6,751. Then the 9,908. Then the 10,034. and then the 21,147. Okay, now we have 18 pieces of data. Let's check it to make sure that we did it all correctly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay. So we're good to go. Okay, now here's the deal. And it worked out nice. Look at that. We ran out of room up here at 9. So if I'm going to find the median, this is an even number here. Oops. This is an even number, and I'm right here at the median. So 9 for the lower and 9 for the upper. But in order to get the middle for this actual median, I'm going to come down here. I'm going to squeeze it in and scoot it up a little bit. I'm going to have to get between those two. 1,657 plus 1,953. Divide that by 2. What do you get? I have 1,805. Is that what you get also? Okay. But then, now here's the kicker. When you do the lower half and the upper half, the median is not part of that. So if there was an actual number here in the middle, like let's say this was 19, and I actually ended up having the point of 18, oops, right here of 1805, I'm going to get rid of this. I actually ended up having that point. This would be your median, and then you would still break it off to the upper and the lower. All right? Let me get rid of that so it doesn't muddy up our waters. But I just want to make sure that you caught that. All right. So of the lower, now I have 9 in here. So that tells me I'm going to go 4. I've got a middle number and then 4. So this is quartile 1. It's nice when it's odd because it's literally one of my data values. Same thing. I'm going to go over 4, hit this one for quartile 3, and then 4 up. So if I want to find those values, like it asked me to do here, quartile 1 is 735. Quartile 2, which is the same thing as the median as we know, is 1805. And quartile 3 is equals 4,668. So it asked me to find first, second, and third quartile. And that's it. The biggest thing is putting them in order, right? Once you figure out the order, then it's not a big deal after that. All right. So I want to go, before we do our outliers, I want to talk about the interquartile range that we're looking at for this one. So an interquartile range, IQR is how it's denoted, is the middle 50%. So if I'm looking for that middle 50%, that's quartile 3 minus quartile 1. And that will give me my interquartile range. So of the quartiles, right, 3 minus 1 gives me that middle 50%, like what we talked about over here, right? Quartile 3, quartile 1 is that middle 50%. Okay. So we want to determine and interpret the interquartile range of that claim data that we just had. So I know I'm going to pull it from the other side here. Quartile 3 is 4,668. And quartile 1 is 735. So if I do quartile 3 minus quartile 1, that'll be my interquartile range. I get 4,668 minus 735. So my interquartile range is 3,933. This is the middle 50% of your data. That's an interquartile range. All right. Okay, so looking at those quartiles, we can come up with lots of information, and we're getting ready to use that interquartile range in terms of outliers. So sit tight.